Grace and peace to you from God our Creator and our Lord and Savior, Jesus the Christ.
Amen.
In seminary, I was honored to befriend many people while I was there. In particular, 2 men from the Midwest and a woman from Southern California who became very good friends of mine. For a month or so, we had talked about going to San Francisco, and I would be their tour guide. As if I was this amazing native Californian who occasionally whips out the Wisconsin accent every so often. I'd been to San Francisco a handful of times because my sister had lived there, and I loved the San Francisco Giants, and a few sites, well, I'd come to enjoy. A perfect tour guide, right? Some of you are going. So I took these innocent 3 seminary students on an adventure. And we visited all the touristy sites, such as the Golden Gate Bridge and the park, Lombard Street and Pier 39 and Fisherman's Wharf. You know, all the good stuff until, wouldn't you know it, one of my dear friends named Brian said these words, "I haven't seen any hippies yet." And being a good tour guide, I responded, "I know just the place. Hippie Hill in the Haight-Ashbury district." Now, the last time that I was there was with my sister, who is actually kind of a hippie herself. My mom's shaking her head. Yeah. We went on a Saturday, and there were tons of hippie-looking people playing drums and so forth, with tie-dye shirts, and going, "Hey, peace, love, rock and roll," man, with little fuzzy stuff coming off, various cloudish issues that we won't mention what people say. And it was a perfect place for hippie viewing, right? But not on a Tuesday morning at 10:30. So we go to Hippie Hill, and there's only one dude sitting on the hill. Maybe they're hiding, we all thought. So we parked and got out of our car and started searching for them. And the lone hippie was just sitting there, watching these 4 seminary students coming in his general direction. And he spoke, or rather yelled, "What are you dudes looking for? Are you looking for a freak? Well, you found one. The freak is right over here. Stop your looking. Come on over here, for I have the truth to tell you." What's the matter? You've never seen a truth teller? Just turn around. Just walk away. Walk away. And then suddenly, our walk suddenly became a run when he suddenly burst out with screaming at us and started walking towards our direction. In the car, get in the car, we'll be safe there. And we got into our car and laughed in nervousness. Now, I've often wondered if John the Baptist was a little like that. Dressed in camel's hair, eating bugs dipped in honey, speaking of the truth. A biblical hippie, if you will, right? Sure, many came to see him and were baptized and were intrigued by his words. Yet the words he spoke were words of truth. And for many of us, the truth is something that does not set us free. The truth can be intimidating and maybe even outright scary. Maybe some would run away from John the Baptist. So let's look at his words. Heather, can you go to verse 7? Right there. But when he saw many Pharisees and Sadducees coming for baptism, he said to them, "You brood of vipers, who warned you to flee from the wrath to come? Bear fruit worthy of repentance. Do not presume to say to yourselves, 'We have Abraham as our ancestor.' For I tell you, God is able from these stones to raise up children to Abraham. Even now the axe is lying at the root of the tree. Every tree that does not bear fruit, good fruit, is cut down and thrown into the fire." Now, our our translators of scriptures over the years have really sugar-coated these particular words. A brood of vipers were words that were considered to be words of an insult to these church leaders. These church leaders who were missing the point of faith and why the Messiah was going to come. Yet from there, John the Baptist makes it quite clear what is going to happen to them if they continue to preach and teach a message not of God. Even now, the axe is lying at the root of the trees. For in the Gospel of Matthew, there is no middle ground. There is no gray area, as we kind of talked about last week. Either you are for Jesus, the Christ, or you're not. And if you're not, well, you better start running to your car. There's going to be consequences for your life. So what are we to make of these words in our gospel for us here in 2019? If there are any words I'd like you to hear and learn about in this gospel, are these. So repeat after me. Repent. Repent. Bear fruit worthy of repentance.
Bear fruit worthy of repentance.
Let's say it again. Repent.
Repent.
Bear fruit worthy of repentance.
Bear fruit worthy of repentance.
These little phrases are the heart and soul of what faith is all about. So let's talk about it. The word repent. It is a continuous act or a continuous call for us to make a holy U-turn to God. Let me say that again. It is a continuous act or a continuous call for us to make a holy U-turn to God. When our sin and brokenness causes us to wander, we are asked to, well, U-turn. So here, and then we're going to turn around. Put God at the center of your life, where God's love and grace are far more powerful than anything humanity can create or maintain in any form. So repent. Put God in the center of your life. However, the movement doesn't stop there. Bear fruit worthy of repentance. In other words, John the Baptist wants us to respond to this life that God has given to us so that life can further itself within ourselves and with others. Life produces life. Need proof? Let me give you a couple of examples. Most of you know that I am a father of 2 boys who I adore. Yes, they are in their teenage years, but one thing that I always enjoy about them is their laughter. When they were itty-bitty little babies, I enjoyed their laughter. And their laughter was infectious, which caused me to laugh as well. And here they are, 17 and 14. And when they laugh, it still makes my heart leap for joy. How about this? I want you to look around here in this church body. This church is a holy place of God through Jesus Christ that has burst forth with life. Sure, we've had our moments, yet that grace that God has given to us as a gift that Christ has done so on the cross for our sake, and is all about resurrection. So this church of ours has become a church of resurrection. We can see this in our ministries that we have, but more importantly, within you, the people who love each other. When I go and visit new faces, and most of you probably have heard this line from me many times, if you let us love you, we will. Have you heard that saying from me? I can't say that about any other churches that I have been a part of. But I can say that about you because you are a church of life that God has granted. God is all about resurrection. God is all about resurrection in the grandiose. Also, God is the God in the smallest of things, such as the tiniest of flowers that we see bursting forth in concrete. So God has given you this wondrous gift of life. So how do you respond with this good news about the kingdom of heaven that is drawing near? So repent. Bear fruit worthy of repentance. So the long and short is this. Listen to the hippie with the camel's hair who is intentionally and purposely and truthfully pointing us to the one who really makes us free in more ways than one. Continued blessings to you as we prepare his way into a manger and then to a cross. Amen.